This episode of WDW Today is being sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, and there's lots of great deals out there when going to Walt Disney World. I mean, free dining, free gift card, annual pass discounts, special room-only offers. You know, there's so many of these codes. Who's got time to really figure out and be certain what the best deal is? Why not have MEI and Mouse Fan Travel help you figure it all out? That's right. They'll do all the hard work. They'll do all that math for you and let you know what your options are and which deal they think is the best for you. Check them out online at www.mousefantravel.com.
Bringing the world to your world, this is Walt Disney World Today. Here are Mike Scopa, Len Testa, Mike Newell, and your host, Matt Hochberg.
It's Wednesday, September 29th, 2010, and this is episode 779 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. Joining me on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of The Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World, which, of course, is at touringplans.com. And Len, in the words of our forefathers, yabba dabba doo.
Our distant forefathers.
Distant, very distant. Also joining us on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome to the show, Mike.
In the not-too-distant future, next Sunday AD, somebody will get that.
I have no idea what that you're talking about.
Sunday AD. It's a TV show.
He's good. He's good.
Small Wonder?
Yeah, Small Wonder. Very good.
It's the show with the guy from Major League.
I know what the show is, but the fact that you admitted to watching it is scary to me.
Well, someone in the show notes post what Newell means, so I'll get an idea of what he's talking about.
And Glenn doesn't count. Or Janine.
Glenn doesn't listen to this show.
That's true.
Also joining us on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for alleears.net. Welcome, Mike.
I see a lion jumping through a hoop. I see a face of a funny clown.
Magic Journey.
Very good, Mr. Newell.
Oh, wow.
Wow, A game today, Mike.
I listen to a lot of Mouse World Radio.
Yeah, apparently so.
Well, it's Wednesday. We're answering your listener questions, and we'll start out with a question from Haley Sims of Melbourne, Australia.
Haley.
Good day, Governor.
How the hell are you?
Hey, just before we start the question, I'd just like to say, and I'm here too, by the way.
Do you guys hear like a buzzing sort of whining noise?
Zowie.
Someone let the dog in, or
man.
What is that?
Also joining us on today's show is the fabulous Annette Owens, a manager of customer relations and group services for MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. Annette, can you ever forgive me?
I'm not so sure. So nice to be so
Yeah, really, welcome
forgotten.
back.
Thanks.
Tick that.
Anyway, our first email today is from
Haley.
Haley Sims of Melbourne, Australia.
Again? Did she just write in?
Hey, Governor.
Hey, we're doing pretty good. We've answered 2 questions.
She's all over the place.
I'm exhausted.
That's not a knife.
Oh, that's
Deja
funny.
vu all over again.
It's like deja vu all over again.
Hi, everyone. Just discovered your show and love it. I'm 18 and going to Walt Disney World for the first time with my mum for my graduation present. This show has helped us plan and made us laugh. My question is, on the touringplans.com website, you have the opportunity to make custom touring plans. There are some attractions on the other touring plans that don't interest us, so does it still work to make custom plans, or are they not as good as the ones in the unofficial guide or on the website? We're going in February 8th through 15th, so the crowd shouldn't be too high. So should we just make our own or stick to the plans in the book?
So you have 2 options. One is to take the plans from the website that we've created and just cross off the attractions that you don't want to see. Then the touring plans tend to work out really, really well, even if you do that. If you wanted to add attractions in, you could copy the unofficial guide's plans into your personalized touring plan, usually as a template, and then delete any attractions you don't want, and then add in any attractions you do want to see, thereby making your own. That's the other option. I would say, though, Haley, if you wanted to do that, make sure you make the plan public after you're done with it so that other people can learn from your experience. Please.
Very good. Our next email is from Brian from Maryland. I just want to say that I've been listening to the show for a couple of years, and you all do a great job. We've been going at least once a year since our daughter was 2 years old, 3 years ago, and have not taken advantage of the annual pass and Tables of Wonderland. Our next trip is mid-January 2011. My question is about the Tampa, Florida airport. I used your advice about airplane costs, and the flight from BWI in Maryland to Tampa was over $350 cheaper than flying into Orlando for the three of us. We've always rented a car since we rest in the afternoon, and with a young child, it's much faster to drive than to take Disney transportation. We also stay at the Boardwalk Villas. We're a DVC owner at the over there, and we love the location. I know how security and rental car works at Orlando, and I was wondering if you could tell me how much time I should leave before my flight to get through security at Tampa. Security lines at Orlando are usually horrible, especially in the morning, since half of the lines are usually closed. So going to Tampa, which is a great idea. You're gonna obviously it's $350 is a lot of money that she's saving, or he's saving. Sorry, by going over there. I mean, you're gonna give yourself at least it's gonna take about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on traffic, to get to the airport. I believe the airport is on the Tampa side, not the St. Petersburg side. That's good because you have to go over that bridge. It's really annoying.
Yeah, the bridge is really, really long, and if you if you realize that you shouldn't be on the bridge and you should be on the other side, then it's like another 5 mile hike over the bridge or whatever it is.
Right.
Sounds like from experience.
Yeah, I did it actually. Ken and I back and forth twice. Actually, the GPS wasn't working that day. I would say it's what 45 miles.
Yeah, about that.
About an hour. With traffic.
And security line at Tampa. I mean, I would
not nearly as bad as Orlando.
Yeah, no, Orlando's so weird. Have you guys noticed that in the Orlando airport that they've just been like? It seems like they're just trying to see how long they can keep the lines without people just totally freaking out.
Yeah.
They just they don't ever use like the full potential is what I mean.
The other thing is the lines look visually intimidating. Even if sometimes they go fast, sometimes they just like Disney World does for Space Mountain, they'll actually stack the security line outside of the gates to make it look really, really long. But then once you get past security, the line between the initial checkpoint and the X-ray machines is relatively short.
Yeah,
I still need to travel when you travel because it's the opposite when I'm traveling through there.
Yeah, I've had nothing but bad experiences with the waits over there.
No, it's been okay. I mean, early morning, weekdays, towards the weekend, Thursday, Friday tends to be busy. Monday.
Cool. Brian also wants to know, I was also wondering which rental car agencies you would recommend. I really like National at Orlando for the Emerald Row, but I noticed that National is not at the terminal. Any information about Tampa would be greatly appreciated. Hopefully you will read this before our trip.
I don't know about Tampa. I've never rented cars there.
I haven't rented a car in Tampa either, but I would just go with on-property rental car companies are probably going to be the best ones. The ones that have the right in the airport. Those always that convenience factor is totally worth it. Don't
forget also to join your rental car company's frequent renter program so you can get front of the line access.
Good point.
Thank you.
Next email is from our good friend Gavin, who we've had on the show before. He does the wake up call on weekday mornings on 107.9 The End in Sacramento, California.
Gavin.
And he writes, Matt, not sure if you remember me telling you this, but here's our Cliff Notes version. While we were on our honeymoon trip back in July, Stacy and I found a Disney autograph book that some little girl lost. We took it with us and filled it out with more autographs, wrote her a note in the book, included a few pictures of us, and mailed it to her. Her address is in the front of the book. After she got it, the 9-year-old Kyra wrote me a letter back with her mom's email address and some pictures of the family. Then the mom and I wrote back and forth, and actually it was he posted his blog entries on his website. They go back and forth, and the letters he writes, this made his listeners cry along with his co-host every single time we do this because she's the sweetest girl in the world, and it's turning something that was really cool into a truly magical moment. So think Disney would. So anyway, it's a pretty interesting story. I think I saw something in a local affiliate. I want to say in Philadelphia. I think wrote a story about their story. Did you guys see that?
Really? No, I missed it.
Noel, did you see that one?
Very cool, though. That's very cool.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it is cool.
It was pretty cool. He found some kid's autograph book, and they had the address, and they filled up with autographs and then sent it back to the kid. It was a pretty interesting story. So nice job.
That's awesome.
Next email is from Patrick. I just found the beta weight plans at the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World's website, touringplans.com.
Awesome.
Pretty cool. I look forward to using it when I get to the parks a little this year. A few questions, though, directed at Len Testa.
Hello.
How has the accuracy been with the site?
You mean with the wait times?
Yeah, I guess so.
Really, really accurate. So the way that it works, will if you input a wait time, we'll actually start adjusting our own wait times based on the stuff that you input, and as long as it's followed by other people. Generally speaking, the for things like crowd levels, we're within 1 on the prediction. So if we predict the crowd's going to be a 7, it's usually between 6 and 8. And we're equally likely to over predict as to under predict, which means that the model isn't inherently biased on anything. On the individual wait times, it gets more accurate as the day goes on. Plus or minus 5 or 10 minutes. FastPass tends to be really, really accurate.
Yeah, he's asking, what does the FastPass number mean? I am assuming the last one given out for the day.
It depends. There's 2 numbers. One is one number is what the FastPass distribution time is right now. We also do a set of predictions where we'll tell you the approximate time at which we think FastPass is going to run out for that day.
Okay. Next email is from JD, who writes, did Disney create a time machine in mission space to take you to Mars? This must take weeks to months, even, because they place you in hypersleep for the journey. But here's where they use their time machine. After your very dangerous landing on Mars, you leave the spaceship and magically transported back to Earth back in time. Whether your journey took weeks to months or more, someone who didn't make the flight, the time you were gone seemed like a couple minutes. They even magically reset all the clocks on our digital devices. I wonder what happened to the warp technology they used in Mission to Mars. Perhaps the meteor storm damaged all the prototypes?
This is exactly right. So it has something to do with the theory of relativity, which says that the faster you go, the closer you get to the speed of light, the slower time goes for you. So maybe Disney's just speeding everything up for everyone.
I think the answer is a lot simpler than that, Lenny. Aren't you really just on a training mission, like as a simulator? That's what they tell you that in the beginning? Like you're training to be an astronaut, you're not actually going...
Whenever I watch the pre-show, I'm always fixated on Gary Sinise's forehead, which doesn't move because he's had Botox so many times. I barely even know that there are words. Oh, by the way, allegedly had Botox. Sorry, go ahead.
Allegedly. I thought I was
remember my restraining order.
Yeah, well, that was my understanding of the attraction. Next email is from Jeff from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Larson J on WJWToday.com. Hoorah. Woo. I'm planning for my trip soon. He wrote that, not me. Anyway, I'm looking at the dining options. I have eaten at Smartland Noodle Station in a prior trip, but the last couple times it wasn't even open. And in DisneyWorld.com's dining session, it's not even clickable. Now, I rather like the food there. At least it was different than most of the food options in the Magic Kingdom. Do you know why it seems Mickey usually has this place closed? Doesn't he like pseudo-Asian food?
It's not that popular, and they don't tend to do it well 24 hours a day. When it's open, they've actually changed the menu slightly. Right during the evenings, they've gone more to sushi, which I think keeps a little bit better than some of the other dishes they were trying. They still do the soups, but I think they've gone down in quality. And they still do. Is it stir fry Scopa that they do? Sweet and sour chicken, something like that.
Something like that. I think you hit the nail on the head, Len. I think that type of cuisine, that type of food is very hard to serve fast food style, quick service style, and I just think that you just can't attain the quality you want, and I think that's part of the problem. But I think you're right. Yeah, they had stir fry. They had something with ginger and noodles. I remember we had one time.
I haven't eaten there in years. Has anyone eaten there in the last 2 years?
Yeah, I have. I ate there last December.
Okay.
It wasn't that good.
Yeah. All right, so I'm not missing anything.
No.
Okay. Next email is from Damian Rickard of Norwich, Connecticut. Hi, everyone. Love the show and all the great information you provide week after week. I'm in the beginning stages of planning a 10-day trip for the end of this year for a minimum of 11 people, but it may be as many as 15, depending on if other family members are able to join us. My question is regarding magical gatherings. I've heard about it, but what exactly is it and what benefits does it provide? How do I book events and what are the events too? Appreciate your responses, and our trip will be during Reunion 2010, so probably just me, will try to check out some of the events and try to meet a few of you. So, Annette, what's magical gatherings?
Well, the magical gatherings, some of the benefits you're going to see by doing that, if you have 10 or more people, the first thing that happens is they do try to book your rooms. If you're all staying at the same resort, they will try to have your rooms closer together or in the same location. So it does tie you together with one number. It's easier on the room assigner. So that in itself is a pretty big deal, especially when you're, I know a lot of times we have 2 rooms that are trying to be together. It's there, but if you have a magical gathering, they do try to do that at the resort. You also have the ability to add on to your trip to do some special events as a family. So you can do dessert parties, you can do a breakfast, you can do a safari breakfast. There's several different things that are out there for you. There is a cost associated with it, but you have to be a magical gathering and have that number associated with your reservation so that you have those options.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Next email is from Liz from Fairfax, Virginia. I'm flying into Orlando in late February for a non-Disney trip, but hoping to sneak in a quick partial visit to Epcot. My husband will be winding up business in Tampa and was planning to meet me at the airport in the evening to pick me up, but could just as easily pick me up from Epcot, so I will only need a one-way transportation. Is it easier, more cost-effective to take a taxi or rental car? I will also need to figure out where to stow my suitcase during the day. Could I rent a car from Alamo and return it to the Dolphin, then stow my bag with concierge? Would they do that for a non-guest? Thanks for your thoughts.
That's a great question. I don't think it would be cheaper because if you're parking at the Dolphin, you get that parking fee.
Yeah. Don't forget.
I was
Would
just
you be returning the car to the Dolphin, though?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, because they have an office over there. But I was going to say there's the other major companies, Budget, Avis. They all have offices either on Disney property or in downtown Disney, the resorts over there. I said over there again, Holiday Inn, the Hilton. They have Avis has got one in one hotel, Budget's in another hotel. So you could avoid the Swan and Dolphins. What I'm trying to get at. There is actually something that's really cool. It's this new service called a Red Coach, and it's these luxury buses that they have. They just started service between Tampa and Orlando, and it's like from Orlando to Tampa, it's $30 round trip, so I think $15 each way, and that might be a better option. I think it's going to drop you off in downtown Orlando, so that's kind of obviously not dropping you off in Disney, but then at least maybe you could take a cab from there. $15 for the bus and maybe $20 for the cab. That might be cheaper than the rental car because when you do one ways, generally speaking, it's more expensive than if you're doing round trips because they always tack on some dumb fee for dropping off.
Exactly.
The website is redcoachusa.com and they have check that out. That might be an option for you.
As far as the luggage, I don't know if you can drop your luggage. I'm not sure on that one. I can say that I have been dropped off before at Hollywood Studios. And obviously, the suitcase was too big to go into the lockers that they have there, so they took it backstage and held it back for me. Not the most secure, but I don't know if that's
really.
There were other pieces of luggage back there, and they gave me a tag and everything. But
I guess you're checking out.
Yeah,
I mean, you're probably not the first person to do it. That's probably true. Yeah.
It was a unique, unusual situation, and of course, think about studios. I had to pull my bag up through security and have a bag check. Yeah, and then go check it. So not the easiest.
Wow.
Let me just say.
That would have been awesome.
Excuse me.
No, I'm so glad. I'm so glad I went the side door and nobody was really there at security.
I'm wondering why you have all these Pepsi cans in your bag.
Exactly.
Diet Pepsi. Sorry. Next email is from Heather from Tennessee. I'm wondering how Pop Warner Days at Disney would change the crowd calendar, if any, this year. We're planning on traveling around this time to Disney, but not sure how this would possibly produce changes in your predictions. I'm thinking in the past they would have varied. If not, the week of Pop Warner, would you recommend November 28th through December 5th? Thanks for your time, and I enjoy your site.
So Pop Warner begins, I believe, on the 5th this year, although people will probably start arriving on the 4th. Doesn't really affect crowds that much because most of the kids are over at Wide World of Sports cheering and playing football and doing other stuff like that. They tend to spend a lot of time over there. I think every year when we get this question, we mention that we've talked to the media people, the media person for Pop Warner, who used to be a Disney World cast member. So we had a really nice discussion with them about what the crowds do, and I think the general consensus is they really don't do anything for the parks. It makes it hard to get a resort reservation, but not necessarily anything with the parks.
Right.
And just to add to that, just remember that most families traveling for that are on a budget. So your value resorts are really slam packed.
Yeah.
Those Pop Warner kids.
Yeah, in fact, it's really hard to get a value resort right now. You can get values and moderates is difficult to get, but the Lexus I think is still available.
Next email is from Shane Grizzard of Orlando, Florida. He writes, "Hey guys, this is my 4th time I've emailed you in 10 days, so I must be getting really bored at work. I actually think I'm getting excited." Oh, okay. He wrote he's getting excited for Tent Fest, so this gives you an idea.
I was just going to say, what, for Tent Fest?
But I have a funny story to share with you. Last Friday, I was craving chocolate and peanut butter, and I've never had a No Way Jose before. So I headed over to Beaches and Cream after work. On a side note, this is my new favorite restaurant after the Brown Derby. Their service was great and friendly, and the food is delicious. I'll be going back, but as I dived into my giant sundae, I plugged my iPod into my ears to listen to the latest episode of WW Today. Turns out, this was the Eating Healthy in Walt Disney World episode. All I have to say is thank you for making me feel guilty with every bite.
Irony.
Scopey, you love that No Way Jose, right? At Beaches and Cream?
I like to eat that the night before I run a race. Yeah, I almost had one in August, but I am on Weight Watchers, so I kind of said no. I might have one in January.
How many points would that be?
Yeah, could you imagine?
Too many. I'm only on 30 a day now, so.
Speaking of peanut butter, Len, I was at a Cheeseburger last weekend, and they have the option of putting peanut butter on your burger. Yay or no?
What?
No, an abomination.
Abomination. Does that violate your no hard food touching soft food rule?
It's
not a
wet
liquid.
and dry food. Wet and dry food can't touch.
That's
Yeah, so-
disgusting.
It's just gross on so many levels.
Oh.
Number one, it's just bad. I'm pretty sure this is mentioned in the Bible. Don't do this, right?
We get to add jelly to it too if you're putting the peanut butter.
No, that was enough.
Seriously, woman, seriously.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
If you're going to add peanut butter, why stop there?
Applesauce.
And I love peanut butter, but never on a.
Yeah, that's just.
Peanut butter and ice cream's okay.
Yes.
Peanut butter and anything other than a sandwich or Captain Crunch. Really, just not.
No,
Yeah, those
Captain
two proteins just should never meet.
Crunch is the man.
Next email is from Jessica from Anchorage, Alaska. Hello to everyone who is present this year from a year from now when this question was actually read.
Aw.
Let me start off by saying how much I love you all and wish you could put out the podcast every day. 3 times a week just isn't enough.
Yes,
Family
it is.
and I took. What was that?
Yes, it is. It's enough.
My family
Now
and I
on to
took
my question. How did I end up in Anchorage?
my family and I took our first trip to Walt Disney World last September. We
Alaska.
loved it and were hooked.
Nice.
Despite what some others might say, I will not name names. My young 2- and 3-year-old children had the time of their lives,
Scope up. Scope up.
Thanks.
and
We'll do
so
it
did
for
my
you.
husband and I.
My life.
We're planning on going back this September, but here's my dilemma. We're staying at the cabins in Fort Wilderness for 8 nights. My in-laws in Pensacola,
It's the truth.
my in-laws live in Pensacola and are planning on driving down for 2 nights for our stay. During those 2 nights, my husband and I are going to be staying at the Contemporary, and my in-laws are going to be staying at the cabin with the kids.
Nice.
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 Smart.
Exciting and new.
How do I plan this? Do I even need to let the Disney know my in-laws are coming? Will they let me check into the Contemporary even though I'm already checked in for Wilderness? My
Yeah.
in-laws have annual passes, so
Yeah.
they don't need tickets, and I give them my daughter's key to the world so they'll be able to go to the cabin. What do you suggest?
No, just give
Yeah.
the key and
It won't be a
Well, the
problem.
only thing is getting into Fort Wilderness if they're driving. You might want to just put their name at the security desk, the security gate at Fort Wilderness to tell them they're coming. An expected visitor.
I was going to say at Tent Fest we learned something very interesting for the campsites at least. You can put up to 10 people on one reservation.
Yeah.
That was comical.
Yeah.
I don't know about the cabins. I don't know if that holds up, but even
There's
so,
a certain number in a cabin, but
Yeah, it'll 5, I think, but still, you're still good.
that should be.
The worst case is call the front desk and say, look, I'm going to have some. My in-laws are going to stop by and see the place. Just let them through security,
Right.
And their name will be on a list, and everything will be cool.
Next email's from Mindy from Texas, who writes, when we go to Disneyland during spring break, we always have a clam chowder in a bread bowl at Royal Street Veranda.
Yes.
When we're
They
going
also
to
do a
Walt Disney-
gumbo there. Yes.
But for our next trip to Walt Disney World, are there any places that serve a bread bowl in Walt Disney World?
No.
There used to be one in
yeah.
the Columbia
there
Harbor
used to be
House.
one.
There used to be
Columbia Harbor
one.
used to do it. Yeah, and they used to have cheddar too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Now they have nastiest hummus I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Is it
That
really?
good, huh?
Way to sell.
It had the consistency of mayonnaise.
I love
If you know-
mayonnaise.
if you know hummus, it should not have that consistency.
Go to Cuisina for hummus.
No.
Yeah. I can't think of. I can't think of anywhere in Walt Disney World.
I can't either. And that.
Well,
no.
Okay.
No.
So, sorry, Mindy. Next email is from Tamara from Illinois. Hi, guys. This includes Annette, as where I'm from, guys does not only mean guys.
Oh, neat.
At least somebody remembered it.
I know. I'm glad somebody does because these guys didn't.
These guys. Da, 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 da.
oh, one guy.
I love the show, and I'm a huge fan of the Unofficial Guide and Touring Plans website.
Yay.
Anyway, I have a complaint about your episode 673, the
Uh-oh.
Grand Review, in which you basically said the Grand Floridian is overpriced and stuffy, and the Polynesian is somehow a better value and atmosphere. You guys are so wrong. We stayed
I
at the
think I'm
Polynesian.
actually I'm the one that said that, but go ahead.
We stayed at the Polynesian 3 times in 2006, 2007, and 2008, and the Grand Floridian twice, August and December 2009. We'll be back at the Grand Floridian this July and December as well. I give you the overprice, but then the Polynesian is also overpriced. At Disney, you're paying for location and theming. The price differences between the two are not that large either when you factor into them the entire vacation. But here's why we're willing to pay more for the Grand Floridian than for the Polynesian. Also, please don't say the Grand Floridian is a boring theme or stuffy. My kids, 12, 10, and 7, love it and now prefer it to the Polynesian. Anyway, she writes, both are very nice resorts with monorail access, large rooms, and nice grounds and pools. Of course, theming is very different, so if you have a strong preference for one or the other, the theme can help you decide. Polynesian advantages are the volcano pool has a better slide, according to my kids, than Grand Floridian's beach pool does. Captain Cook's has more interesting selections, including Dole Whips. Also, the video games are not in the quick service restaurants, whereas the Grand Floridian, the quick service place, Gasparilla's, is also home to the video games. At the Polynesian, the view from Wishes from the beach is spectacular, and you can walk to the Ticket and Transportation Center for direct Epcot monorails. But the Grand Floridian, however, has advantages for turn-down service is a standard for all rooms. Those chocolates on pillows each night, refreshed towels, ice and ice buckets, and other small touches are all very nice. I had no idea they had turn-down service.
Oh yeah, you need to stay there more often. Next time I'm going, you can stay with me.
Okay. I'll pack my
I just
jammies.
turned down my own bed, but okay. I just don't. My biggest problem with the Grand Floridian is you have to park across the street.
Yeah, that is annoying. Toilet.
Don't you valet when you're staying there?
No, most of the time I'm going to the Grand Floridian for meetings, so I have to park across the street and walk across
thanks.
to go to a business meeting.
Toiletries are upgraded. Decor is much lighter and brighter than the Polynesian.
I'll give it that.
The pools are much less crowded than the Polynesian's pools, which
It's
seems
because they're like 12 acres large. I mean, it's like a small lake.
Yeah,
I've got photos of the Grand Floridian pools, and there are ducks in them because the ducks can't tell the difference between that and Seven Seas Lagoon. Honest to God, there's actually one we tried to put in the Color Companion. Ducks are in the middle of the pool.
So you pulled the ducks, and they said, "Oh, I have no idea where we are."
Ducks are like, "What do you mean I'm not in the lake?"
Courtyard pool has a hot tub. Polynesian does not.
Whoa! Are you sure about that?
The courtyard pool. Does that she mean the main pool?
The small pool.
Oh, the small pool.
The one off to the side behind the back.
Right, the quiet pool.
Yeah.
The Grand Floridian has more on-site fine dining options, better character meal options, as 1900 Park Fair has different characters for breakfast and dinner. The bus waiting area is covered, has a TV, and is usually staffed by a cast member in the mornings, and has more seating than said bus stop at the Polynesian. Quieter grounds and calmer atmosphere overall. Lobby is less crowded in general than the Polynesian's lobby.
It's, again, huge lobby. The density is probably less because you've got 12 acres there. But actually, this is a good letter. There are a lot of valid points here.
Bathrooms have 2 sinks, whereas most bathrooms of the Polynesian only has 1 sink.
Okay, but the Polynesian bathroom is nice.
it's incredible. I love it.
Why do you like it so much, Annette?
I love the separation. I love there's some, call me silly. I like the little I don't know what you call that, the little alcove for the toilet. You have the other spot. I don't know.
I do too. Plus I think there's this. I think it's
The color scheming. It's
color scheme is better. The tile floor makes it cooler. I like it. I like it better.
Tamara goes on. Also, almost all the rooms have a balcony or patio at the Polynesian. Most of the second floor rooms do not. Thanks for your fun show. Just be more open-minded about the Grand Floridian next time.
That's a good letter, actually. That was a really good letter.
Okay. Anyone have any? So, do you agree with her, or are you sticking with your guns here?
I'm sticking with my guns. There's a whole bunch of. You could go through this all day long, but there are a lot of things. One of the things that I like about the Polynesian over the Grand Floridian is that being in a longhouse enables you to get in and out real quickly to your car to get to where you want to go for that day. The difference in price does not, to me, make the Grand Floridian, that much better. You can talk about restaurants and stuff, but I don't think that many people eat at their hotel restaurants that often. The list goes on and on. I just think that theming is a big deal. I don't think there's much to the Grand Floridian theme. I think there's a lot more effort put into the Polynesian theme, and I think that's why I like it better too. So, I mean, I think you can make argument either way, but I just can't see the value for the.
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't go as far as to say that the Grand Floridian is a bad resort and you shouldn't stay there in general. I don't think anyone's saying that it's like, you know, I mean, I've rallied against like Coronado, and I think that's a terrible resort, but I wouldn't go as far as to say that Grand Floridian is a terrible resort. I will say that I do generally, at the end of the day, like Scopa said, prefer the Polynesian resort for its convenience factor. Its location, I think, is better, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper. So that's time for our last email of the day, and that means I'm going to give Mr. Newell 3 emails to choose from. One gets read today, the other 2 go back into the email queue to be answered later. But before we go to that,
yes,
Mike, you've been kind of quiet this show, so I'm kind of worried about you, Mike. How are you?
I'm fine.
Everything good?
Everything's good.
How are the cats?
Fine.
Okay, good. Let's move on with the show.
Thanks for caring.
Your option, anytime, buddy. Your options are Skagway, Alaska. Why dining walk-ups are easier recently, a theory. Or someone more famous than Newell or Scopa.
Which could be everybody.
Yeah. Everybody and anybody.
Yeah, let's go with that one. I'm interested to see what that's about.
Went for the bait. All right.
Yeah.
Knock yourself out.
Last email's from Nick in Vincennes, Indiana. Hey, gang. Just wondering, who are some of the celebrities you've seen in the parks? Last February, I ran to Chad Ochocinco outside of Toy Story Midway Mania and was glad to see that people were letting him roll with his family and not bothering him. Did the celebrities you saw have any handlers? Just curious. Keep up the good work. The only celebrity I've met in the parks was Joey Fatone he's from NSYNC.
He's there every day.
Yeah, he's there every day.
I think he's working Space Mountain now.
He lives in Orlando, and he's a huge fan of the parks. I met him. It was at the Tower of Terror 13K event last year. He was very nice. He was not with a handler. His wife was running in the race. He was just kind of like, you know, doing his own thing. Have you guys met any celebrities?
In the park, or can it be at one of the hotels?
Yeah, on Disney World property.
I met Daryl Strawberry at Chef Mickey's one night.
Really?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
When was this? Like, how long ago was this?
This was 2004, I think. And I went up to him and I said, I'm a Red Sox fan, and we had a very nice discussion.
Was he with a handler, like a cast member?
No, he didn't. I don't think he had a handler. No.
Okay. Annette, did you ever meet any celebrities?
I've had a couple of opportunities for some interesting people to come out when we've done dessert parties over the years. And I think the one that had me just kind of dumbfounded and just with my jaw on the ground was Toby Keith came walking out. I want to say either last year or the year before in December when we had our dessert party at the UK. So it was 2 years ago, I believe. He came walking out, and I was just completely dumbfounded. Didn't even know what to say, but he spoke as he was going on. I was too busy trying to wave and take care of our guests, you know. And I'm just dying.
And I just remember one that you and I both have met in the park, a famous celebrity, which is Warwick Davis.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Star Wars weekends. He was actually.
We had our own private dinner with him.
Yeah, I sent him an email to kind of inviting him to come to our Star Wars weekends event dinner. And he was very gracious and stopped by, and he was very, very nice. I mean, he stopped to talk to everybody. And Warwick Davis is he was Wicket the Ewok in Star Wars. He was also in Return of the Jedi, really. He was also
in Willow.
Willow, and he's some character in Harry Potter, which I have no idea.
Narnia,
not Harry Potter. Sorry, Narnia.
I almost met. Let me see, what's her name? Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
And Joe Jonas in February, but I'm not a fan of either one, so I didn't push it. So, but
yeah, get these kids out of here.
Stuff. Yeah, get these kids out of here. Yeah. They shouldn't have been in the park, but they had handlers. They had any handlers.
Yeah, Warwick did have a handler, I should mention. Newell, did you ever meet anyone famous?
Getting back to my original quote at the beginning of the show, which I didn't think I'd have to mention again.
No.
Oh, yes, the famous in the bar.
I met Mr. Joel Hodson, the creator and star of Mystery Science Theater 3000 at the Bellevue Lounge. Came up right next to me at the bar with Tim and Alan. Yeah, Tim or Alan were working that night, and he came right up. He stood right next to me at the bar, ordered a drink, and the funny thing was I was, starstruck, and I don't normally get starstruck, but for him I was. Mary sits next to me. I mouth to her, "That's Joel," and she's like, "Who?" I'm like, Joel. She says, who? I tell her, I said, give me a pen. She gives me a pen, and in giant letters, I wrote Joel on my hand. They said, Joel. And she turned around and was like, but he was really nice. And, the thing with celebrities is if they don't tend to want to be bothered because they're on vacation too. Right. So I told him, I said, listen, I'm a really huge fan. I know you're on vacation. I just wanted to tell you, I appreciate your work. And he went and he sat down with his wife. And then later on, he came over to thank me. And he said, can I sign anything for you? Can I take pictures? He was really gracious because we didn't make a big deal about him.
He's not recognized that much either, is he really?
In our geek circles, yeah, he is. But
yeah.
Did you recognize him or his voice, Mike?
Oh, I recognized him.
Okay.
I totally recognized him.
Our sponsor today, don't forget, has been MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, and you don't have to be a celebrity or know a celebrity or meet a celebrity in order to get that kind of VIP treatment from MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. They're going to do everything for you. They can give you a no-obligation quote. They can give you all the details, and you know what? You can say, I'm not interested. Thank you. Or they can give you that expert service, total one-on-one support for no fees and no agency fees. It's just signature services right to you for no additional cost. Check them out online at www.mousefantravel.com. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, you can visit us online at wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and of course, I would never forget the fabulous Annette Owens. I'm Matt Hotchberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.
The Wake Up Call on 107.9 The End.
All right. I want to make sure everyone knows this story. You went on your honeymoon to Disney World in Florida. While there, you found an autograph book that kids use to get Disney characters to get autographs for them. It had like one autograph and it had a little girl's address in it. And you realized, oh my God, this poor little girl.
She lost it.
So you and Stacy took this thing home. You waited for a little bit when the girl didn't show up looking for it. You took it home, then wrote a little note saying, here you go, little girl. We found this. And guess what? We took it around and got all the characters to autograph it for you.
Yeah.
We thought you'd like it. Now, you sent it off. You're overstepping your boundaries. A lot of people thought it was a very sweet gesture.
From Disneyland?
Well,
or
Disney World.
Okay, I gotta say, though, that... By the way, the reason she's not dying, every time we play this music, Katie has to go, oh God, I'm going to cry. How long ago did you mail that book out to the little girl?
About 2.5 weeks ago.
And you received a letter from her.
Heard back from that little girl.
Get ready, everybody. If this is what I think it is, Gavin is going to touch your heart.
Okay.
This is from, how old is this girl?
9 years old.
9 years old, okay. Can I stop this music before Katie cries?
No, please don't.
I feel like it almost makes the letters more special.
All right, I gotta keep starting it over again.
Dear Mr. Gavin, my name is Kira, and you were so sweet to return my autograph book. I thought I never would have found it. It was so sad when I lost it in Epcot. I tried not to tell my mommy how sad I was because she looked even sadder. What a great surprise to find it in the mail today.
Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
How old is she again, you say?
I am 9 years old and live in Pennsylvania. I live with my mommy, daddy, and my 2 sisters, Delaney, who is 7, and Marley, who is 1. My sister Delaney has Down syndrome, and she went away to a summer camp for kids with special needs. That's why she's not in the Disney pictures.
Oh my God.
Wow.
My mommy and daddy surprised me with this trip to Disney because I take such good care of her at school and when my mom and dad are working.
Oh my God. Okay.
Katie's crying.
That is beautiful.
I love all the new signatures, especially the Mickey Mouse one. My dad has a business trip scheduled in Orlando at the end of October, and we are going back to Disney because Delaney didn't get to go. I want to show her all around, and now she and I can get even more autographs.
Okay.
Katie's crying. P.S. Gavin, you are the coolest person in the world. Everyone in Sacramento should bow at your feet.
Let me see.
Okay.
All right, let me see. I want to see the letter, though. Hang on.
Let me tell you something. Before you ruin this, Jason.
Included also photographs of Kira and her sisters.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm just looking through this letter.
Beautiful.
Maybe we could be pen pals?
Maybe we could be pen pals.
Okay, before you ruin this by saying something sarcastic,
I'm not going to ruin it.
let me say, like, Gavin, you have earned your wings. You are the sweetest boy in the world.
Can I stop playing this music?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, stop this.
We just got a text message in 73389. Someone just said, "This is the sweetest thing. I am sitting in my car crying."
Yeah.
Every time we play this song.
It's just so sweet. It makes me cry.
For those who've been following this story, I thought this story was over, to be honest with you, Gavin.
Me too.
Gavin's honeymoon was in Disney World. He went off on his honeymoon, found an autograph book from a little girl. Him and his wife came back, sent it off to the girl, said, "Here you go. We found this in the park."
Of Disney characters, not like
Just,
Chris Angel.
Yeah.
We also wrote her a little note in the autograph book and sent pictures of me and Stacy.
Where did we last leave this off?
Well, I heard back from Kira. That's her name. She lives in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
Okay. And Kira wrote me a really nice letter and sent pictures of her and her sister. Her sister has Down syndrome.
Yeah.
Okay. And was not with them on the trip. And she, told me a little bit about that. It was very sweet. Well,
Gavin's got paper.
I have a new pen I have a new pen family.
Oh.
This is from Kira's mom, who sent me more pictures. This was an email, not an actual letter. This I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's kind of long, but this is her talking about her daughter Kira.
Are you going to get choked up here?
I might.
Okay, I'm looking at you. I know that face. You start biting your lip.
I read this to Stacy and her friends yesterday, and they all cried. This is the mother, Nikki, talking about her daughter Kira, the one I've sent the autograph book to her. She is just such a great kid. Kira has had to grow up pretty quickly. Her father and I divorced when she was 3, and Delaney, her sister, was 2. And because I was a single mother with a special needs child, Kira had to step up to the plate. Quick funny story to illustrate. One night I was so sick with the flu that I could not get out of bed and had no one around to help me with the children. I called Kira up to feed her sister. I said, "Kira, now that go to the kitchen and get the bread from the counter. Then get the chair and pull it up to the pantry, climb up and get the peanut butter out." And she nodded the whole time. Then I said, "Now go to the drawer and get out a knife." And then she stopped me with an incredulous look on her face and said, "A knife, Mom? For God's sake, I'm only 5. She really is the best kid and has had to deal with a lot. People always feel sad for special needs kids who have had to struggle through life, but it is really the siblings of the kids with special needs who endure the most. She has had to watch as kids make fun of her sister on the bus and try to defend her while fitting in with her peers all at the same time. She is the one who gets her sister ready in the morning. She does her hair, helps her brush her teeth, and picks out an outfit for her to wear to school.
Waterworks on Katie, by the way.
Wow. How did I know?
She sits with Delaney, her sister, every night and helps her with flashcards, desperate to help her sister to learn to read. I cry just thinking about it. Disney World was the time when Kira, remember, Delaney wasn't there.
Right.
She went to a camp for special kids. Disney World was the time when Kira was able to let down and just be a kid. She had a great time. And when she lost the autograph book, she was so sad. And how wonderful it was for you guys to do what you did. I wish you could have seen the expression when it came in the mail. She keeps looking at your pictures and paging through the autographs. Now, here's the thing. I think that it couldn't be better that this happened to such a sweet kid. Like when Stacy and I found the autograph book, we didn't know who this kid was. The kid could have been a jerk for all we know. But like, it literally sounds like she's such a deserving kid. And it
was meant to be.
She gets crap from her peers, you know what I mean? Other students for picking on her sister. And she busts her trying to help her sister
how old is
out.
There's 2 girls. The one is
6 and the other one is, I don't remember how old Delaney is.
But she's young enough to.
Kira's
they're
6
both young.
years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just, I don't know. I don't feel good about myself often. But it's the kind of thing where this literally made me feel really good. I don't know. It's just
and now you have a family / friends for life out of this.
Yeah. It's really just neat how I don't know, we have this connection 3,000 miles apart, and I feel like I'm starting to know this family and really get attached to them. I think that's really cool, and I'm glad that we were able to do that for Kira.
There you go. Well, nice job.
Yeah.
You do deserve a pat on the back.
I give Gavin a hard time and embarrasses when I'm saying this, but he's earned his wings.
The Wake Up Call on 107.9 The End.